Alright, welcome third period and welcome to B squared math class. Get it? Brianna, B squared. Funny stuff. Alright, so today's lesson will be on partial fractions. So we have the integral of 1 over x minus 1 times x plus 2 times dx. And we're going to split up the bottom two into a over x minus 1 plus b over x plus 2 times dx. We're going to go ahead and cross multiply, and then we end up with the equation a integral of a times x plus 2 over x minus 1 times x plus 2 plus b times x minus 1 over x minus 1 times x plus 2 times dx. Then we're going to go ahead and cancel out terms, and then we get a simplified equation of the integral of a times x plus 2 times a plus b times x minus b over x minus 1 times x plus 2 dx. And then we're going to go ahead and factor out the a and b, so then we get the integral of a plus b times x plus 2a minus b over x minus 1 times x plus 2 dx. So now you want to solve for a and b, so then we're going to go ahead and take the equations out of the parentheses, and you get a plus b set it equal to 0 since there's no x, so then it's like 0x, and then you get 2a minus b and set it equal to 1. So then you go ahead and just solve for it, you add them, and then you end up getting a equals 1/3, and if you plug it back in, b equals negative 1/3. So now using the values of a and b, you go back to the equation where we originally split it up between a and b, and you plug it in, and then you go ahead and get that integral. And then you have to rewrite it, and you get 1/3 integral of 1 over x minus 1 times dx minus 1/3 integral of 1 over x plus 2 dx. And then we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of u sub. So we'll use x minus 1 for u and x plus 2 for v, and then we go ahead and solve for that. And then we go ahead and rewrite it, and it's 1/3 times the integral of 1 over u times du minus 1/3 integral of 1 over v dv. So then you end up with your integrated equation, and then when you go ahead and plug in the u and the v, you get 1/3 ln absolute value of x minus 1 minus 1/3 ln absolute value x plus 2 plus c. And then you go ahead and you can simplify that further by using the natural log properties and pretty much writing it as like division since it's subtraction. So then you end up with 1/3 ln absolute value of x minus 1 over x plus 2 plus c. And then that would be the end of the first example. So for our next example, it's a little different. We have x on the top, unlike the last time. So then we have the integral of 3x plus 11 over x squared minus x minus 6 times dx, which when we factor out the bottom, we get the integral of 3x plus 11 over x plus 2x minus 3 dx. And we go ahead and do the same thing, split them up between a and b, so then you get the integral of a over x plus 2 plus b over x minus 3 dx. And again, we go ahead and we cross multiply, and we get the integral of ax minus 3a plus bx plus 2b over x plus 2 times x minus 3. So then we go ahead and we simplify it, we factor it out, and we get a plus b times x plus negative 3a plus 2b all over x minus 2 times x minus 3 times dx. And then once again, we're going to take the equations in the parentheses and take them out so that we can solve for a and b. So then you get a plus b equals 3 since the original equation is 3x, and negative 3a plus 2b. Set that equal to 11 because the equation is 3x plus 11. Then we go ahead and use simple algebra, and we end up solving b equals 4 and a equals negative 1, again plugging b back into the equation to get a. We will then use our a and b values and plug it back into when we originally split it up between a and b. So then you plug in negative 1 for a and 4 for b. And so then you go ahead and get that integral, and then you go ahead and try and integrate it. So then you get negative 1 times integral of 1 over x plus 2 dx plus 4 integral 1 over x minus 3. So then we're going to go ahead and do another u sub, and then we're going to use u equals x plus 2, and then v equals x minus 3. And then you go ahead and do that, and then you go ahead and plug in and substitute your u and your v, and then you go ahead and integrate that and plug back in what you substituted, and you get the negative ln absolute value x plus 2 plus 4 ln absolute value of x minus 3 plus c, because once again, improper integral. So that about concludes our video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something.